What's up, everybody? Curtis Wilkerson here with Inside Arkansas on the Pod at the Palace, coming to you with the post-game report card and player grades. Following Arkansas 73-66 loss to Ole Miss, Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville Wednesday night. I'm going to try to get through this pretty quick. I know when the team starts to stink it up a little bit, the attention span starts to wane. I get it. So see if I can cut these down from like 25 minutes to 15-ish. We'll see how that goes. Not good performance from the Razorbacks in this one. They find themselves in a hole with a climb that's not going to be easy with what's on deck with Florida coming to town on Saturday. Winnable game for Arkansas. They were the more talented team. They had their opportunities, had a 9-point lead early, and just failed to make adjustments like Ole Miss did, and didn't execute on either end, and really didn't give forth the type of effort that it's going to take to win games in this league. So a lot of things that the Razorbacks have to figure out, a lot of basketball left to be played, but right now they are not in a good spot. Let's start with the offense and defense, and we'll get to the players. Offensively, D-, I guess, and the only reason not to give it an F, I think, would be that Ole Miss turns teams over at a high rate. Arkansas only turned over 6 times. They did have 12 assists, so 2-to-1 assist to turnover. That's a positive, but my goodness, it's been dreadful. 37% from the field, 21% on 5 of 23 shooting from 3. They wound up recovering after a slow start from the free throw line and went 17 of 24 in this game, but it's through 2 games here, and I get it. Like Tennessee and Ole Miss are both good defensive teams, but like, welcome to the SEC. That's just the way it is in this league. They're averaging 59 points per game. They're shooting 37% from the field. They're shooting 21% as a team from 3 and sub 70% from the free throw line. They've got a lot to get better, and it's not even about the statistics so much as it is the eye test. I don't know what the plan is right now for this team offensively. Maybe the shots would go in at a higher rate if they were running some actions to create some quality looks. And right now they're just not doing that. And they're in kind of their free flowing dribble drive offense. And that's okay. Like you can get some good shots out of that. Absolutely. But you can't when it becomes stagnant and when there are a bunch of no pass possessions and when it's just passing around the perimeter with no off ball movement, no real screens being set. Not a lot of great action for Arkansas in this game. It was a tough watch on the offensive end. Defensively, yeah, I mean, it just wasn't very good. D plus, I guess. Ole Miss isn't a juggernaut team offensively. They got some talent. They've got some good players. They shot 46% in this game. That's pretty solid to go on the road and shoot that. Arkansas allows 39% shooting from 3 again. Ole Miss hits 9 of them. So getting SEC play, that 3-point defense hasn't been great. And then you allowed them to get to the line 28 times, and Ole Miss only made 18 of them. But you can't allow teams to shoot more free throws than you in your own arena. That's usually not a good recipe. We know that Arkansas needs to turn teams over and get out in transition to kind of fuel some of the stuff offensively. Weren't able to do this in this game. Now, Ole Miss takes care of the basketball, but they only turned it over 5 times in this one. Arkansas had a hard time being disruptive. They could not seem to get them figured out, especially in the second half. Pick and roll defense continues to be a major issue. Closeouts are late. Too many miscommunications leading to open layups. They got a lot to work on, folks. They do. Talented team Arkansas is. I think they can still be good and salvage a good season. Boy, they got a lot of work to do. So let's get to the player grades. There is no MVP because Arkansas didn't win this game, so we'll start at the top of the box score and work our way down. Boogie Fland, I'm going to go with a D in this game. 5 assists to 0 turnovers is good. Like I said, Ole Miss is a team that turns you over a bunch. He didn't do that. 5-0. That's pretty good. But 14 points, that looks good too. 6 rebounds. So you look at it, it's like, man, he put together some numbers. The 5 of 20 shooting, boy, that's tough. You know what I mean? Especially after a game where he was 5 of 15 and he goes 1 of 8 from 3. Following up a game where he went 2 for 9, the efficiency has really dropped off for Boogie, and that's tough because we know that as Boogie goes, Arkansas goes. And this was a game where I felt like, sometimes if your shot's not falling and you're a lead guard like that, you can make impacts in other ways by creating shots for your teammates, by being a playmaker rather than just a scorer. And I thought he got out of that mode and got a little bit selfish with it in this game. We mentioned the no pass possessions. A lot of those were him. where he would just point at his big man to come set him a ball screen. He kind of halfway use it and chuck up a contested shot or a long two. The shot selection wasn't great. It wasn't just that he wasn't making them. Kind of a rough outing there from Boogie, and that's a couple in a row here to start SEC play. Again, he's an immense talent. I think he's going to be fine, but he's hitting those growing pains at a time where Arkansas needs to be hitting its stride. So they definitely need more from him moving forward. Adu Thero, I thought he was really good. B plus, I think I would go for Thero. I mean, he had 17 in this game, so back around his average, pretty efficient, 7 of 12 from the field, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, whatever. Just missed a double-double. He had 9 rebounds in this game, only 1 turnover. Man, he made some big-time plays, some impressive dunks, had some impressive blocks. He makes just athletic plays all the time that really jump out to you. I thought the one adjustment Arkansas did make was in the first half against Ole Miss's switching, where they were using Thero in ball screens, getting that switch or that mismatch and then short rolling him and getting that ball right in the sweet spot where he was scoring around the rim. Worked out pretty well for him. Then they really started to try to force it late. It just got a little bit disjointed and clunky there, but I thought he was a bright spot for Arkansas on an otherwise gloomy day. Jonas Adu, F, 2 points in this game for Jonas. They both came at the free throw line. He did not attempt a single shot in this game as the starting center and an all-SEC player. 5 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 17 minutes of action. Arkansas was better with Trevin Brazile in at center than they were Jonas Adu. I never in a million years thought I would have said that coming into the season, but here we are. Something's just not right there with Jonas. I don't know if he's not healthy, if he's under the weather, if he's not comfortable in his role, if they don't know how to use him. I don't know what's going on there. But to get 0 field goal attempts on a night where you had an advantage inside, Arkansas did. They just didn't do anything to exploit it. We talk about those switches. Boy, anytime I saw Boogie Flan switched on a bigger body, they were taking him to the post, and he was getting babied in there. Ole Miss had no problem identifying, creating, and then exploiting mismatches. And Arkansas had every opportunity to do that with Jonas Adu. They did it with Thero some, but they wouldn't do it with Jonas. They're switching. Why not just send him on a cross screen to the block? You guys run that floppy action anyway. There's screens being set down there on the block anyway. Get him the screen and guard, get the switch, seal, get a reversal, dump it into him, layup. It's really that simple. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to oversimplify things. It is that simple. And they just never did it. Or just get him in the short row opportunities like you did Thero for a while. Didn't do it. Just didn't do anything to get shots, for a guy that they invested heavily in to be a big part of this team. So again, that's a couple games now where you've had no-shows from Adu. Can't have that. They got to get him figured out. He's too important to the process here. If that's all you're going to get out of him, whether that's him just not playing well or Arkansas not forcing the issue in terms of getting him involved, or a combination of both, which is what it probably is, you're not going anywhere this season. They just got to have more. Carter Knox, D+. I think I'll probably go in this one. Got the start, played 18 minutes, had 4 points, hit a 3 in this game. Defensively, he's lost out there. It just really showed. I mean, anytime I feel like there's a wide open cutter for a layup or something, I look up and I see Carter Knox attached, to somebody else's man and getting yelled at. Coach Cal had to yank him out a couple times and he was teeing off on him for just being out of position or missing an assignment or botching a play or making a silly turnover. He's just kind of being thrown into the fire here. His development hasn't been quite as quick as you would have hoped as a McDonald's All-American, a 5-star freshman coming in here. Still very talented. He's still trending in the right direction. But again, it goes back to what we were saying about Boogie, which is the growing pains. It's part of the process, but you can't hide him. Like, he has to play for you. And so it's almost like you need to find a way to speed it up, streamline it, slow down the game, and make it a little bit easier on him. And I don't think Arkansas is really doing that right now. And he struggled a little bit in this one. And it showed the most, I thought, on the defensive end. Better days to come for Carter Knox. DJ Wagner, I'll go with a D. 11 points in this game. That's fine. 4 of 13. So pretty inefficient. 0 of 5 from 3. And he's starting to take some, that the shot selection out there is going down, hence the percentage dropping. Between him and Boogie, they went 9 of 33 in this game and 1 of 13 from 3. If your starting backcourt does that, you're not going to beat anybody, much less a team in the SEC. When he was being aggressive and getting downhill, he looked pretty good. When he was settling for those jumpers, not so much. And the other thing I noticed there with DJ, who did play 39 minutes, so he deserves credit for that, getting a little bit lazy with those closeouts on the 3-point line. And he was getting popped, a number of times there. And that's a little bit uncharacteristic for him. John L. Davis, B minus, C plus, maybe. Boy, what a promising first half. He had 11 points. He hit 3 threes. He had a little step through in transition for a layup. Was driving it on folks. He wound up getting to the free throw line 4 times. He kind of looked the part, right, of the guy that we've been beating our head off of the table saying, hey, he is really good at basketball. He didn't just forget how to play. He showed us signs of that. So that was encouraging. I like that he took 7 3-pointers. I like that he was getting to the free throw line. Had 3 rebounds in this game, didn't turn it over. There were some good things there. Had some defensive lapses, especially late. Had some focus things, that weird timeout call. I'm still not entirely sure what that was about later in the second half. But the main thing that stuck out to me is like he just stopped getting touches. Like you got a guy on a heater and he scores like 11 points in 5 minutes or something. You get to the second half of the game and he's not getting touches. Like the ball's just going away from him. It's Boogie and DJ, just chucking it there. And I just wonder, why is that the case? I mean, this is really a prime opportunity for him to have a breakout game, have 25 or something. And it just didn't happen there, but still encouraged for sure by what we saw from him. And hopefully he can continue to build off that and get a little bit more acclimated and they get more comfortable with him. But they're definitely going to need him. Ain't no doubt about that. Trem Brazil, I'll give him a B. I should give him an A for effort because there were times in this game where Arkansas was really just lacking energy and like want to out there. It seemed like that was never the case with Trevin. He was flying around, aggressive on the rebounds, tipping balls out if he couldn't get the boards. He played his ass off. He played really, really hard. Does the box score show it? I mean, he had 3 points, had 1 basket there inside, split a pair of free throws. He had 7 rebounds. It's a good number for him. A couple assists. He had a really good pass to DJ Wagner on a little give and go cut that I remember in the first half. Didn't turn it over, but like I said, I thought Arkansas was way better with him at the 5 than Jonas Adu. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say, but hey, it is what it is. So, and then Billy Richmond and Big Z, can't really grade them. Neither one of them played much. Like Billy played 7 minutes, had a couple hustle plays in there, which is good to see. Z hurt his ankle again. He only played 4 minutes in this game. Didn't really have much to show for it. It's like it's hard to kind of attach a grade when guys don't play much. But like Cal said after the game, when you got a 9-man roster like this, you got to get something from everyone. Doesn't mean that everybody has to play great, but you got to get something out of everybody. And Arkansas didn't get that in this game, and they wind up losing at home. He's also the one that chose to build the roster this way. It kind of goes back to what we've been saying since they put this thing together. Like, you got to avoid injuries. They haven't been able to do that. And you got to make sure you hit on all your evaluations, and they haven't. And hence some of the issues here. Otherwise, yeah, maybe this would be going swimmingly, but it's not. And so they got to figure some things out here. What I see right now with Arkansas is a team that is very talented, but they are behind their peers, and they don't have an identity. What is this team right now? What is the identity? What do they do? What do they hang their hat on? I don't know. I don't think they know. And that's something they're going to have to figure out if they're going to right the ship here. They need to do it pretty quick. Now, everybody will look at this Florida game and see, well, like they went and scored 100 in Kentucky and they beat the hell out of Tennessee, and Tennessee beat the hell out of Arkansas. This is going to be an epic blowout on Saturday. I really don't think that's going to be the case. Now, they do some things that worry you, like they get on the offensive glass like crazy. So Arkansas is going to have to take care of business there. I expect this to be a competitive game between Arkansas and Florida, but I've seen nothing at all through these last 2 games that leads me to think Arkansas is going to get over the hump and win it. Would it surprise me if they did? No, because they're probably more talented than Florida is. But as far as being a better team, and Cal said himself tonight about Ole Miss was the better team. Arkansas is not there yet. So at some point, you would hope that the switch will flip and they'll have that breakout game and they won't look back from there. Pretty quick turnaround to make that happen. We'll see. But hopefully they get it going. So, hey, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, continue to rock with us over here at Inside Arkansas. I know when the team starts struggling, people are like, man, I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to listen to this. Well, we're not going to pump you up with sunshine and fake news. Like, we're going to keep it real here. So if they have problems, we're going to diagnose it. They're doing things well. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to be all over it. So we're going to give you transparency and truth. That much I can promise you at least, and hope you stick on board here. I appreciate all you sickos who have been doing it so far. But I'm going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more, and then we'll get previewed up for this game against Florida coming up on Saturday. We said before this Ole Miss game, not a must-win, but a prove-it game. Still probably too early to call something a must-win, but my goodness, it's almost a can't lose, man. Like, you cannot fall to 0-3 with this league as good as it is. They got to find something. Magic in a bottle, lightning in a bottle, whatever you want to call it. We'll see if it happens. But I'm out of here. Been Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas on the Pot the Palace. We'll catch you guys in the morning. Have a good one.